Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do our March the 12th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well. The title of the meditation for today, Getting Out of the Rut. Many times in our recovery, the old bugaboos will haunt us. Life may again become meaningless, monotonous, and boring. That comes from the basic text, page 78. Sometimes it seems as though nothing changes. We get up and go to the same job every day. We eat dinner at the same time every night. We attend the same meetings every week. This morning's rituals were identical to the ones we performed yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. After the hell of our addiction and the roller coaster craziness of early recovery, the stable life may have some appeal for a while, but eventually we realize we want something more. Sooner or later, we become turned off to the creeping monotony and boredom in our lives. There are sure to be times when we feel vaguely dissatisfied with our recovery. We feel as though we're missing something for some reason, but we don't know what or why. We draw up our gratitude list and find literally hundreds of things to be grateful for. All our needs are being met. Our lives are fuller than we had ever hoped they'd be. So what's up? Maybe it's time to stretch our potential to its fullest. Our possibilities are only limited by what we can dream. We can learn something new, set a new goal, help another newcomer, or make a new friend. We're sure to find something challenging if we look hard enough, and life will again become meaningful, varied, and fulfilling. Just for today, I'll take a break from the routine and stretch my potential to its fullest. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Okay, what a wonderful meditation, right? It's talking about getting out of the rut. And, I don't know. I think the rut starts young. Honestly, I was talking to one of my younger friends, and I said, Girl, what's going on with you? You seem so bored. And she's like, I am bored. I'm like, what's so boring about your life? You're like all of 12, 13 years old. What's so boring about your life? How would you feel if you were the smartest person in your whole school and you have to get up at 5 o'clock, go to work with your mom, and then have your mom take a break, drop you off at school, then you go into the school and you do the same thing over and over and over. Every class you go to, you're done with all of the work. Matter of fact, you're working on 2 classes of work at the same time because you already know the stuff. What if that was you? Wouldn't you be bored? And I thought to myself, oh man, ugh, the curse of being smart. Wow. I guess I would. I guess I absolutely would. And so I had some free time. I mentor her. So I had some free time and I was like, you want to do something fun? She's like, what? I said, well, why don't we do a crossword, not a crossword puzzle, but a word find puzzle, a word search, excuse me. I said, why don't we do a competition, right? The first person that gets both sides of their page done wins. And she was like, okay. And so we started, the timer went off and we're sitting there listening to some worship music and we're sitting there doing our word searches. And I look over at her, she's found 2 words on the first page. And I am just finishing my 15th word and I have 1 to go. Then I can turn to the second page. And I was like, you know what? You ought to slow down. But, a competition is a competition. I said, you should slow down because she just told you. How would you feel if you were the smartest person? I'm thinking to myself, oh, but I can't resist the competition. I flipped my page over and I said, how you coming over there? And she's like, it's so hard to find these words. And I was like, man, this is going to be brutal. And then in about, I don't know, 2 minutes, I was done with the second page. And I was like, can I help you with yours? And she was like, I wish you would. So we started working on hers and I don't know. I thought I'd be nicer. And I said, how about every other word you do? And I do the opposite ones. And I rushed through mine in about 30 seconds, found them all. And I was like, can I help you find your words? She was like, gosh, no mercy with you. You already won. And I'm just like enjoying the moment because she's coming to life. She's actually enjoying the process of not having all the answers. And we flip it over and we do the other page and however long it took us to do it. And, I told her it's all about perspective. Sometimes getting out of the rut, sometimes getting out of being bored, just sometimes means that you have to involve yourself with something different than you normally do. And get excited again about the process of not being the smartest person in the school, right? Of not having all the answers, of learning from someone else that can teach you something. Sometimes you can just you can knock that boredom straight out by doing something different. And that was the lesson. That was what we talked about the whole time we had together. And it was just really a beautiful experience, and I've been laughing and looking back over, my childish ways sometimes here lately. And I just wonder, as I'm sharing myself with you, and no matter how ridiculous or off topic I get, as I'm sharing myself with you and enjoying my life and recovery to the best of my ability, because every day is not a great day. I have definitely a lot of stressors going on. But as I'm working to improve my self-care and keep up with the podcast and be honest when I'm doing the podcast about whatever it is I'm going through, I'm wondering what effect is it having on you? Like, are you in a rut doing the same thing every day? Because now it's a responsibility and we're responsible people today. And becoming complacent about your recovery, complacent about life. That last paragraph is so important, where it says, maybe it's time to stretch our potential to its fullest. Our possibilities are only limited by what we can dream. I know a girl, she's not a girl, she's a grown woman. And 13 years ago, she gave up quite a bit of clean time, 14 years ago. She introduced me to the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. She was one or two people that introduced me. And you know what? In about less than a month now, this woman someone I actually know in recovery and have a really close relationship with, is going to be heading up a project in our town of building 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, or 5, 6 tiny houses on a piece of property that she was able to buy 4 or 5 years ago. Imagine if she had picked up because of all of the disappointments in dealing with the city's zoning. Imagine if she had done that. She would not be at this major stage of her life, her recovery, and her career of giving back to others what was freely given to her. And so, in all honesty, she stays very excited about her recovery, very excited and full of gratitude and humble about her process because she knows the impact. And I want for us to think about that. If we give up today, if we allow ourselves to just stay right where we're at today and do the same old today, is that really, honestly, truly enough? Is that all that you want? Or is there something else? Had you thought about starting your own business? Had you thought about becoming a foster care parent? Had you thought about going back to school to get your GED so that you could go to a community college or go to school? Had you thought about going from your bachelor's to a master's in a field that interests you? Had you thought about learning how to do hair and getting licensed, or a masseuse and becoming licensed in that field? What is it that you dream of? Maybe you want to start a restaurant. Maybe you want to just travel the world going to NA conventions all over the place. When does that start? It can start today. Just get online and start doing some research and tell yourself every day, I'm going to research this topic and take notes and learn what it is I say I'm interested in. Familiarize yourself with the topic or what you say your dream actually is. And see what other doors open up. Start talking about it to people. I've enjoyed talking to you today. My name is MightyStream, and I am going to get out of this rut, do another podcast, and exercise. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to have a beautiful day on purpose, regardless to the personalities I know I'm going to be dealing with throughout the course of my day, right? I don't like conflict, but I am willing today to show up and recover and have a beautiful day on purpose. I want for you to do the same. Talk to you tomorrow.